Now, this is Abrams' second attempt to unseat Republican Governor Brian Kemp, and her team says this tour is all about her closing message to voters ahead of Election Day.
Before today's rally, Abrams sat down with 41 NBC. She talked with Shelby Coates about the issues, historic voter turnout, and why she says she's the right candidate for all of Georgia.
Let's start off with talking a little bit about what you're seeing on the campaign trail as you crisscross Georgia, and does it make you feel optimistic about Election Day?
I am not only optimistic, I am bullish on our chances. We are seeing record turnout, especially among communities that normally don't vote in midterm elections. More importantly, people are talking about the issues that matter. They're concerned about their safety, and they know that Brian Kemp has flooded our streets with guns. Women want their right to choose, and because he has said he's willing to entertain even more restrictions, they understand that this is a crisis. And because we just lost the Atlanta Medical Center, the 6th hospital to shut down under his leadership, they know their healthcare costs are going to continue to go up. And for folks in Macon, they need to be deeply concerned because the closure of the hospital in Atlanta means that traffic is on its way down 75, heading towards Macon.
And here in Middle Georgia, Macon alone, we just had 3 homicides in 24 hours, so safety is a big priority for our voters. What would you do differently that maybe Brian Kemp isn't doing?
We know that Brian Kemp weakened gun laws in the state of Georgia and accepted money from companies that wanted those gun laws to be weakened. We know that our streets have been flooded with guns, and in the state of Georgia, we have the 9th highest gun violence rate in the nation. And by making it easier for dangerous people to have weapons, by eliminating background checks, Brian Kemp has made us less safe.
Governor Kemp has mentioned this before, but do you feel like you have the backing of local law enforcement and sheriff's offices?
I do, indeed. But more importantly, I believe that we have to have not only support of law enforcement, but hold law enforcement accountable. I'm the only candidate who's actually written standard operating procedures for police officers. And I understand how to support local law enforcement, but also hold them to the standards that we need in our state.
What would you say to people who have concerns, if elected, that would you be able to work with Republicans who have control of our legislature right now?
I would point out that I have 11 years of experience, 7 years as Democratic leader. And technically my title was minority leader. I only got things done if I worked with Republicans. And during that time, I was lauded by both the Republican Speaker of the House and the Republican Governor for my leadership, for my ability to work across the aisle.
Let's talk pandemic. I know Governor Kemp has went after some of the things you might have said during the pandemic. Looking back and knowing what we know now, would you have handled the pandemic differently from Governor Kemp?
Absolutely. I would have proceeded with caution. What Brian Kemp did was want to be first. He used political gimmickry to make decisions, and 38,000 Georgians died. We should never make decisions based on being first. We should make decisions based on being best. We know that in Hancock County alone, 1 in every 100 people died from COVID, and they don't have access to hospitals. 6 hospitals shut down under his leadership, including losing 3 hospitals during the pandemic. No governor should be proud of losing access to health care during the worst health care crisis in a generation.
What do you want voters to know as we head into Election Day on Tuesday?
I'm running for governor because I want Georgians to have more money in their pockets, more opportunity in their communities and their businesses. I want them to have more freedom in their lives.
Real quick though, do you feel like we're headed to a runoff, and are you prepared for runoff?
I'm prepared to win, and whatever that takes is what we're going to do. And I encourage everyone to learn more about my plans at StaceyAbrams.com, because we have the money in our coffers right now to do what's right for Georgia. I want to spend that money on Georgians. I want to put that money into our pockets and not give it to the wealthy and the powerful. And if you join me in that belief, we will win.
Now, we also emailed Governor Brian Kemp's campaign and requested a sit-down interview before Election Day, and his team declined, saying that the governor was unavailable.